Who owns Canada's recovery? The man with the golden Rolodex. They used to call him the rock star central banker. Then, he was the climate crusader. Now, he's the man trying to buy Canada a brand new economy. Today, we are looking at the money, and it's fair to ask, how much are we talking about? 90 billion Canadian dollars. Since taking the reins, Mark Carney has been on a whirlwind world tour, not to kiss babies, but to sign checks, massive ones. We're talking about 3 specific deals, with 3 very specific power players: the UAE, Qatar, and China. On paper, these deals promise to flood Canada with over $90 billion in investment. That's money for AI, for mines, for ports, and for the houses we desperately need. But nothing in this world is free. Today, we're going to open the books on these deals. We're going to ask the uncomfortable questions. Why are foreign sovereign wealth funds suddenly so interested in the Canadian prairies? And is Carney using his political power to fix the economy? Or is he just closing one last massive deal for his old friends on Bay Street? Buckle up. We're following the money. 1. The UAE and the $70 billion lifeline. Let's start in the desert. Carney's first major stop was Abu Dhabi, and he didn't come back with just a souvenir mug. He came back with a signed FIPA, a Foreign Investment Promotion and Protection Agreement. Now, FIPA sounds boring. It sounds like paperwork, but this is actually a key to the vault. This agreement essentially tells Emirates investors, your money is safe here. We won't tax it arbitrarily, and we won't seize it. In exchange, the UAE pledged $70 billion Canadian or $50 billion USD in investments into Canada. Here is the economic reality check. Why do we need this? Canada has a productivity crisis. We have great ideas, but we don't have the cash to build the factories. The UAE has the opposite problem. They have mountains of cash from oil, but they need to diversify before the oil runs out. They want to own the future, specifically critical minerals for batteries and data centers. So, the deal is simple. We give them access to our lithium and our land. They give us the capital to dig it up. For the average Canadian, this should mean jobs in mining, construction, and tech. But here's the catch. When a foreign government owns your ports and your mines, do they control your supply chain? Carney argues this is strategic alignment. Critics call it selling the family silver to pay the mortgage. 2. Qatar and the conflict of interest. If the UAE deal was about stuff, rocks, and ports, the Qatar deal is about brains. Specifically, artificial intelligence. While in Doha, a massive partnership was solidified, a $20 billion joint venture to build AI infrastructure. We're talking about the massive data centers needed to run things like ChatGPT. But this is where the story gets spicy. Who is the partner in this deal? It's a company called Brookfield Asset Management. Does that name ring a bell? It should. Until January 2025, Mark Carney was the chair of Brookfield. He resigned to run the country. Now, as Prime Minister or top advisor, he is drumming up business in Qatar, and the beneficiary of that business is his old firm. Let's look at the mechanics. Qatar provides the cash. Brookfield provides the expertise to build the data centers. Canada gets the infrastructure and the tax revenue. From an investment standpoint, this is brilliant. Canada needs compute power to compete in the 21st century. We can't afford to build it alone. From a political standpoint, it's a minefield. Carney's defenders say he's the only guy with the Rolodex to make this happen. Who cares if it's Brookfield? His detractors say he is using the Prime Minister's office to pump the stock price of the company he just left. Is it corruption, or is it competence? In the world of high finance, the line is often blurry. But make no mistake, Qatar is buying influence and Brookfield is the broker. 3. The China reset realpolitik returns. And finally, we turn to the dragon. 4 years, Canada-China relations were in the deep freeze. Hostage diplomacy, election interference, spy balloons, you name it. But Carney walked into Beijing and hit the reset button. The deal. A classic trade-off. China agreed to lower tariffs on Canadian canola, a huge win for Western farmers. In exchange, Canada agreed to slash its tariff on Chinese electric vehicles. We went from a defensive 100% tariff down to a most favored nation rate of roughly 6%. This is the most controversial move of all. Why? Because the US is raising walls against China. By lowering ours, Carney is betting that Canada can play the middleman. He's betting that cheap Chinese EVs will help us hit our climate goals faster than waiting for North American cars to get cheaper. It's a massive gamble. It risks angering the Americans. But Carney's logic is pure economics. We need green tech. China sells it cheap. Let's buy it. It also signals a return to real politics. No more lecturing China on human rights in public. This is strictly business. If you're a canola farmer in Saskatchewan, you're cheering. If you're an auto worker in Ontario worried about cheap Chinese competition, you're terrified. The verdict. So, let's tie this all together. What is the Carney Doctrine? It's the belief that Canada's biggest problem is a lack of capital. We are a rich country acting poor because we don't have the cash flow. The Carney solution is to open the floodgates. Emirates money for the mines, Qatari money for the AI, Chinese tech for the green transition. These deals, investments from the UAE, Qatar, and China, are designed to jolt the Canadian economy out of its coma. And in the short term, it will probably work. You will see cranes in the sky and job postings on Indeed. But the long-term question remains. When you invite the world's biggest landlords to rebuild your house, do you still own it when they're done? Carney is betting that he's smart enough to manage the risk. He's betting that he can take their money without taking their orders. What do you think? Is this the foreign investment miracle we need, or are we selling our sovereignty to the highest bidder? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.